Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Money Matters. I am your host, Hung Lu, and we are in the last stretch of 2025. So today is December the 15th. This is our last episode for today and for the year. So we will be picking up these Money Matter episodes in 2026 with a new format. So you'll have to wait until the new year to figure out what that new format is. But I'm hoping you'll like it. And I'm hoping to deliver a lot more money savvy, money knowledge, everything in jam-packed as quickly as possible. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about where a lot of people lose money with their ATM transactions without even realizing it. And then for those of us who are traveling over the holidays, how that can actually compound with a silent travel tax. So I'm going to walk you through that. Okay, so this is, let's see, a quick Excel spreadsheet because when you just talk about the math, it seems really simple, but once you see it down on numbers, it actually becomes really like, oh my God, is that really what's going on here? Okay, so on the screen, you will see an Excel sheet. Let me make it a little bigger. Okay, and the whole reason for these sessions is, when you take control of your money and you can manage it, you're making the world a better place for yourself, your family, and for the community. And so I'm really hoping that, you take one thing out from this and implement it into your financial life and get that financial independence that you really want. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And depending on what platform you're on, please give me thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe, keep the content going. Okay, because yeah, I want to travel with everybody. Okay, so let's go into this. So we're getting ready to travel, and this came about because I was like, oh, I need to use the credit cards and pay for stuff and all that stuff. So now here's the thing. If you are using a traveling credit card, one where they do the exchange for you, that sounds fine. But here's the thing, there's actually a hidden fee that's in there. Okay. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start adding the fees up, these small little leaks tend to equal a large amount. Okay. And the way I see traveling is that it really should be expanding our world. It should be giving us these life experiences and memories, not putting us more into debt. Okay. So that's part of the reason why I'm sharing this. Okay. So some of these credit cards, they charge a 2.5% fee. This fee is on top of the annual fees, if there's one, and it's on top of the exchange rate. So that's what you have to really keep in mind. It's like, it's not just a 2.5% fee. Like when you say 2.5% fee, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it builds up because for every single transaction, you're paying that fee. And the more you spend on your travel, and of course, you're traveling, you're paying for hotels, you're paying for souvenirs, you're paying for meals. Okay, so before you know it, a trip can easily cost you $1,000, $6,000. Okay, so here's some quick numbers for you to understand here. Okay, so if you just use your traveling FedEx exchange rate card and you pay a 2.5% fee, that's on top of the exchange rate. So if you just spend a $100, meal or a $100 hotel, they're going to charge you 2.5%. So it's $2.50. No big deal, right? But here's the thing. If you go and you spend $6,000, okay, which if you think about it should be really easy to do, okay, that's going to cost you $150 on top of all the exchange rates. Okay. So now that may not seem like a big deal. Okay. And, when I ran this, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother getting a FedEx exchange card because, for $150, it's not worth that hit on my credit score. It's not worth the time of having to apply or phoning the bank and saying, hey, can I get another credit card? It's not worth the extra tracking that I have to put in for another credit card. So for me to save $150 wasn't a big thing. Okay. But this is where it starts adding up because now if you have to use an ATM to access that cash, they charge, let's say, a 5% flat fee. Okay. Now, if you are in Canada like me and you use the ATM, that is not part of your banking uh, banking ecosystem, okay, you're paying a flat fee. So if you go to like say a convenience store or if you go to a restaurant and they say, cash only, and then they say, hey, there's an ATM in the lobby, do not use that. That is a total, oh my God, like that is the quickest way to lose your wealth. Okay. Because really, wealth building is making sure you spend money within what you actually make. And if you're spending all these little amounts on these ATM fees, that will totally kill any wealth building that you're hoping to do. So avoid ATMs that is not part of your bank. So for example, if you bank with CIBC, make sure you only use a CIBC ATM. Okay, usually in that case, they don't charge you any of those hidden ATM fees. But if you are a CIBC client and you go to a TD ATM, they will charge you a fee. Okay, so that you need to double check. Okay, so this flat fee, $5. Okay, you're like, hey, hon, you know what? It's two Tim's coffee. Okay, like it's not that big of a deal. It's a Starbucks. Okay, if you can get like a little shot of a Starbucks thing for $5, it's not that much. Okay, but here's the math. Okay, and you can't like that's why putting it into a calculator makes sense because here's the thing. If you go and you take your credit card or your bank card and you go and use an ATM machine and you have to pay a $5 flat fee. Okay. Plus you're paying an exchange rate. So let's just say I'm at the airport or I'm in China or Japan, that's where we're going. Okay. And you have to pay an ATM fee and the exchange rate fee, and then this FedEx card fee. Holy crap. Okay. So in this example, we're only spending $100. Okay. Look at this. My fee now is $7.50 for that one transaction on $100. Okay. You do the math on that, that's 7.5%. 7.5%. Let that sink in. Okay. You put that $100 into a GIC, you're not even making 7%. Okay. And here you're paying 7.5% on just the fees itself before the exchange rate. Okay. The exchange rate is the exchange rate. Okay. And yes, different institutions charge different exchange rates. Okay. But I'm just for simple math here. Okay. So the way to calculate this is you take your spend, okay, times the 2.5 plus your $5 fee. Okay. Now this $5 fee will be different depending on the ATM that you go to, but I'm just using a flat 5% here. Okay. So you want to avoid using the ATM for these small little transactions. If you're going to do a transaction, just do a big one. Get the cash out and then just start paying with cash. Okay. So for example here, if we end up taking $6,000 out at an ATM, I don't even know if we can take $6,000 out. Okay, so I'm just using this as an example here. That if you were able to take $6,000 out, you pay the fee one time. Okay, so now the math on that is $6,000 times your 2.5%. Okay, so it's prorated. Like the more money you take out, the more you'll pay on this 2.5% because it's a percentage of the amount. But the $5 is a flat fee. So in this situation, you're only paying 2.6%. Okay. So in this case, your fees go down significantly. So that's what you want to do. Okay. So you want to catch that where you can. Okay. So now in today's session, I'm only just talking about these two fees. Okay. But there's actually 5 types of fees that when you're traveling or when you're just everyday spending that you could potentially lose money on it. Okay, so these 5 are listed here. So I'm not going to go through them because that's another longer topic. Okay, so the thing to take away. Let me show how that fee was calculated, or this percentage rate. So what you do is you take your the fees that you're paying, divide by the total amount that you're withdrawing. Okay, so in this case, it's $7.50 divided by the $100. For the 2.6, you take your $155 divided by your 6,000, and that's how you get your percentage rate. Okay, so that's what you want to actually look at. Like, how much is it actually costing me at the end of that transaction? Okay, so the thing that is really to point out here is that this ATM sucker fee that a lot of us who use ATMs get sucked into paying, and this FedEx, this exchange card, travel card, these, a lot of times, these are hidden fees. Like we don't realize we're paying it. It's sort of like a hidden tax, which is why I'm bringing it to light so that you can actually see that it's not a good thing. Okay. And accessing your money, especially with an ATM, it's your money that's in that account and you have to pay to access it. Like to me, that is just mind blowing that, hey, you know what? Like that's my money that I worked for. I put it into my bank account and you're telling me that I have to pay to access it. Like to me, that just doesn't make any sense. Okay. So you want to minimize that fee as much as possible. Okay, so I'm hoping that these sessions this year, and along with this one, has been fruitful for you in the sense that you are getting money back just by watching it. Okay, my gift to you. So, on that note, I'm going to wish everybody a happy holiday season because this is our last episode for the year. So, I want to wish everybody all the best for 2025 and may 2026 bring you all the happiness and wealth and success that you and your family want. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and thank you for helping me make Cash Property a wonderful and successful company. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye bye.